Hello everyone, most radical man ever. I'm here to review and do some life lessons on the movie Outsourced from the year 2006. And let's see, the director is Jeff Jeffcoat, writers George Wing and John Jeffcoat. These were relatively unknown actors to me. I recognized Josh Hamilton. He plays Todd Anderson. And Aisha Darker, she plays Asha, and Asif Basra, forgive me if I'm pronouncing the names wrong, relatively unknowns to me, so I'm sorry. Anyway, the plot is basically is somewhat of a romantic comedy, and most of the comedy is really only found in the cultural differences that we discovered between India and America. And like I said, it's filled with relatively a cast of unknowns, but they do a pretty good job. Now, the star, Todd, he finds that his company is basically being outsourced to India, and he actually has to go to India to train his replacement. Imagine the fun that could be. And they're doing that basically to pay 1/8 of the price that they would pay Americans. Now he arrives in India and he finds himself in a world completely where he's unfamiliar with the ideas and the customs, and the roller coaster begins. Now, some of the life lessons I saw in this film were pretty easy to pick up, and that's why I'm doing this review. The very first life lessons that I picked up was some fights simply aren't worth fighting. Todd Anderson, an American, is going to India, and he's trying so hard to maintain his cultural identity. He has his cultural little bubble there in India. At one point he tries really hard to get a hamburger, you'll see that. And he also is forcing his employees to wear American clothing. He's making them speak American and so forth. And he's fighting so hard, and after a while he just realizes that he gives up. And after he gives up, it actually is a good thing. The people that work for him actually are allowed to keep their Indian culture inside the office, and you find out that this turn of events actually makes the employees want to serve him out of love and respect, rather than to serve him as a taskmaster out of disdain. Another life lesson that I learned is basically tomorrow is not guaranteed. You know, we look every day for the sun to come up like it has millions, billions, trillions, who knows how many times, and we expect it to come up tomorrow. And, you know, I expect it to come up tomorrow. But he walks into the office, Todd walks into the office one day, and he loses his job, basically. And once you see the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. No one guarantees you tomorrow. Not your boss, no one. No one can guarantee that you're going to be here tomorrow, so why worry about it? You know, most of us, especially in America, are so concerned about our future. We're concerned about retirement, you know, what kind of cars we're going to drive. Are we making enough money for the cars and so forth? And basically, I think a good rule of thumb is, yeah, it's wise to save 10% of your check every month or week or whatever and put it away. But, you know, who knows? We could have a depression, you know. Money could become worthless. Who knows? Tomorrow is not guaranteed, so don't worry about it. Another life lesson that I learned in this film is disaster brings change. And in this case, there is a disaster, a minor disaster in this film. Once you see the film, you'll see what I'm talking about. But it brings about a positive change, one that would not have occurred any other way. So, you know how they say there's a silver lining around each black cloud? Well, in this film, there is an instance where there is a silver lining. And sometimes, if you look back on your life or my life, you can see where bad things have happened, but they've also plowed the soil for good things to take place. Sometimes it takes several years or months, or sometimes it takes decades to see it. But you can look back and see how sometimes bad events turn out to good things. I think the Bible says a grain of wheat must die in order for a crop, you know, basically to be grown. So, disaster brings about change. Sometimes there's a silver lining in every bad incident. Another life lesson that I picked up upon in this film is greed trumps national pride or patriotism. Now, when I was younger, a lot of things used to be made in America, but as I grew older, I noticed that more and more things, when you look on the bottom of cups or toys or whatever, computers, they're made somewhere else. And of course, that's because the minimum wage keeps hiking up in America, and labor unions are doing the best they can to get the best price for their employees that are subscribed to them. And Americans, they economically vote, basically. If you're going to do the best you can for your family, you're going to try to get the best prices that you can. And if Americans were truly worried or truly concerned about national pride and so forth, and they really wanted American-made products, then they would economically vote that way by paying a lot more to see that Made in America stamp. Well, now we know that that doesn't happen. People are more interested in the economical bottom line, and so therefore I'm going to say greed trumps national pride. Now, as far as the rating of this film, you will see a lot of cultural differences that may surprise you. They definitely surprised me. It was a happy surprise. It was a good surprise. It wasn't a bad surprise. You'll get to see a little bit of India's religion and their propensity for what I believe is idolatry. There's no blatant sex scenes. I don't remember a real blatant sex scene at all. And there's no violence. For those of you that need to know that. Most radical men ever really liked this film, so I'm going to go ahead and give it an A-. Okay, so go see the film or rent it. Till we meet again, dig deeper, go higher.